welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to share with you a special recipe that I hold dear to my heart. I'm going to show you how to make your own perfect oven roasted chicken. I buy the $5 Costco rotisserie chicken all the time. It's affordable, it's convenient, and I can stretch it out to multiple meats. But it's not this one. I've been perfecting this roasted chicken now for 15 years. And when whole chicken goes on sale, I always stock up on the brand I like because the quality really does have an impact on the taste of your chicken. I usually find it for about $1.29 a pound on sale once a month at my local grocery store. So I buy several, keep one fresh, and freeze the others. The effort you put into this recipe is totally worth it. These steps are simple and they get easier every time you make. Whether you cook this once a week or once a month, it's comforting, reliable, and it brings a sense of contentment to your home. This recipe reminds me of my mother-in-law's baked chicken, the one I tried to recreate for years. Over time, this became my own version, and it's the one that my family asks for. When I take time to make this, it's my way of giving them comfort and a little love through food. And I get to express, I appreciate you. The first thing we want to start on is our garlic. This recipe really is successful because of chunks of garlic that I have here. Do you have to use fresh garlic? No, but it really does make a huge difference. If you don't have fresh garlic, go ahead and use some garlic powder. I know sometimes we just need to use what we have, and that's okay. I use a bunch of garlic. That makes a huge difference. And I'm just going to smash this down. I do cut the tops off here. Then I want to peel the garlic. So I just, oops, get that smashed. Smashing it like this helps get that peel off quicker, sometimes. Take these peels. We just want to go for a rustic chop. Doesn't have to be perfect. I want to make it small enough because we're putting it under the chicken skin. And the reason we're making sure we do it under the skin, that's where the meat is, and that's where we get to put that flavor instead of it being on top of the skin. So I want to go under the skin. So we have this diced pretty chunky, but small enough. I used about, I don't know, 6 or 7 cloves of garlic, I believe. So I'm just going to take this diced garlic and put it in a microwave safe dish. We're going to put butter in here and then place it in the microwave. Next, I'm going to take my butter. I only need about a half a stick of butter. But if you have soft butter, you could skip this step if you wanted. I do find that taking the butter and garlic and placing it in the microwave helps get the garlic activated. At least in theory, that's what I tell myself. I'm gonna put the butter, garlic in the microwave and I'm gonna put it on defrost. That way it doesn't melt too quick. I'm looking for like 10 seconds, 15 seconds. It just really depends on your microwave. So sometimes it's a game. And that was about 30 seconds for defrost. So I'm gonna get a spoon and mix this together. Actually, I think we're okay. You just have to kind of mix around. Okay, I like to get it to this consistency. I prefer to use fresh parsley or some other fresh herb if you have it. But if you don't have it, use a dried herb. It's totally acceptable. I'm going to use Trader Joe's Herbes de Provence. It's got a mixture of thyme, marjoram, savory rosemary, basil, sage, and lavender. Being that this is dried, I'm going to do I think this is about 1 tablespoon of herbs. I'm just going to mix that all together. It already smells delicious. Now I'm also going to add more salt to this butter. And I like to add some pepper. I'm just using my cracked pepper. Again, this is going under the skin, so we want to concentrate all that flavor. Next up, let's open this chicken. It is important to semi-room temperature. It doesn't have to be perfectly room temperature, but I try to take it out of the refrigerator a couple of hours before I'm ready to start baking, because it really does have an impact on how this is going to bake in the oven. It is important. I highly recommend that you follow that step. I'm gonna get my gloves. Now, when it comes to a baking dish, you can use a glass or you can use a pan. I do find that this pan reflects the heat, and so it creates a more reflective experience. The chicken skin, if you have it, I would say go ahead and use it. If you don't worry about it. Use a glass dish, but that's what I'm using. I'm gonna get my chicken and I'm gonna take all this innards out. I highly recommend cooking this, keeping this, making a gravy with it. Yes, a gizzard get gravy. All right, now you can rinse this in cold water. Now you're gonna wanna dry off your chicken. It's really important to get this chicken nice and dry. So when you think you've gotten it all dried off, keep drying it. Get into that cavity also. Get under those armpits. I guess they are armpits. I don't know why I think it's that funny. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our hands between the chicken meat and the chicken skin. Use something to help me. You want to be gentle as you're trying to release this chicken skin from the meat. And you're just going to have to really go in there, and I focus on the chicken breast in the corner here where the thigh meat and the drumsticks are. You want to get down there, release that chicken skin. Makes a huge difference to get a crispy skin. I'll come from the other side now and work through this. Now, I even do it on the back side, and it's really hard to get into the wings. Now, I have been able to get through this because I really do want to get to the thigh and the drumstick. All right, I think we did really well. Love it. Now they got wrinkly skin. Is take that butter and we're stuffing it under the skin. Do not put it over the skin, put it under the skin. I like to get a spoon. And this is why you want it to get a little bit more not so melty, because you got to put it in here and you got to spread it around all over the meat, including where that thigh and drumstick is. And I just smush it around. And depending on how cold your chicken is, that butter might be a little challenging to move around, but that's why I try to get the chicken somewhat, take some of that chill off. So I want to get that butter spread all underneath that meat. Now, obviously, as this is roasting, all that butter is gonna come out. But that's okay. All this garlic and all that salt and pepper is going to adhere to that meat. It's nice and clean. I like to keep it clean. All right, that's done. That part's done. What I'm going to do is I am going to put some salt in this container. I only do salt. I do not do pepper. I do not do any other seasonings, just salt. It's about 1.5 teaspoons, maybe 2 teaspoons, just really depends. I recommend a coarse, either kosher salt or a flaky salt, because the salt isn't as strong. It will have an effect on the chicken skin. I have my salt broken up. It's about 1 teaspoon. Now I'm gonna put just enough oil in here to create a paste. I'm just looking to coat the salt with this oil. Just kind of looks like I'm making a snowball. Now, when I look at this, as I'm spreading this on, I'm creating a crust on this chicken, and we can lightly oil our chicken. I'm going to put this salt over my chicken. And I'm going to gently spread this around and pack it. I want to create a crust, a salt crust. Most of my salt crust is probably going to be focused on the chicken breast because this is where all that skin is and my family loves the skin. Could you just flake this on? Yes, but for some reason, when I add the oil and create kind of like this paste to the salt, it just creates this awesome crust that I don't get by doing it like this. So if you've never tried it, give it a try first and then compare it the other way. Now, since I've already created this crust, I don't mind adding the other salt because I'm breaking up my salt. Like I said, I use a different type of flaky salt so it doesn't have an overpowering experience. All right, that's it, done. You have onions or lemon. I like to put that into the cavity. It really helps infuse flavor into the chicken. I don't have any lemon, so I'm just gonna stuff this onion in there, but I'm gonna cut in half because it's like a half an onion. I don't need that much. Just stick it right in there. It's ready for baking. We're gonna turn on the oven, bake, and we want a high heat. You wanna get it to 425 or 415, depending on how hot your oven is. If you're like me and you keep things stored in your oven, take that out. So my oven is preheated to 425. I'm gonna put this chicken in the oven. So it's pretty hot. We're gonna let that bake off 30 to 45 minutes. Once the 30-minute timer has gone off, I'm going to turn down the temperature. You can turn it down to 325 or 350. It really depends on the second phase of cooking. The most important part about that second phase is do not open your oven. Once you turn down that temperature, I know it's going to be tempting. It's going to be very tempting, but don't open the oven. You just want to turn the oven down to either 325 or 350 and allow that chicken to continue to roast and bake off for a good 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the size of your chicken and temperature that you're going to drop down to. So if you're dropping down to 325 and you have like a 4-pound chicken, you're probably going to do an hour. If you're dropping the temperature down to 350, 45 minutes. And then you can check to see if the chicken is done. So this is optional, but if you want to make this even easier dish, I like to add some carrots towards the end of the cooking time, just so I can soak up all those chicken juices that you find in the bottom of the pan. Take the carrots, add some fresh herb. I chose to get thyme. You can use parsley. My chicken has been baking in the oven for about 30 minutes for the first phase and then 45 minutes for the second phase. Now I have my chicken at 325. I feel it's safe now to open my oven, and I'm going to take my carrots and put it in my pan. Oh, it's so good. I haven't made my roasted chicken in such a long time. It's very sentimental. It looks really good. It's getting there. Let me give you a close. See how that salt creates this crust over the chicken? You can't get that doing it the other way. You have to create this paste. I'm going to continue baking this at 325, and I am going to add my carrots, and I want to get butter, chicken juices into these carrots to add another layer of flavor. Thyme, my herb, and just put it with those carrots. I'm salivating. And I'm not gonna add any salt to this. If you had like some potatoes, roast the potatoes in here as well. This is gonna go back into the oven, but I'm just gonna keep cooking this off because I'm doing it at a low temperature. Let's going back in. Okay, my timer is up. Oh, this looks so good. All right, my chicken is done. The only thing that's a little disappointing is it's kind of early and technically I'm not ready for dinner yet. This is gonna taste amazing as soon as we get to eat it. Okay, it's time for me to taste the reward of dinner. It's very tender. So good. As my daughter's watching me, it's so good. As she said, it's home. Carrots are very good. It's so flavorful. I hope you try it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you.